So I've seen a lot of things going on behind me that I can't get a good look at. Tell me what's going on behind me while I do this.
Well, I mean,
we got a long line of people with things in their hands waiting to buy. So very anxiously waiting to buy.
And put this in your little messaging that the reason why things are slow is that we are at the mercy of the Artigan. That's the 1055.
That's the one I should send the link to now?
That is the link to right now.
All right.
We're at
Gods and Monsters 1055. Not that this matters to you watching this right now.
Right.
Copy. Facebook.
Yeah, when you open a new place, a new store, there's about 1 million things that you have to take care of to get it up and running.
Right, and one is the internet.
One is the internet. And we believe that's another reason why the line is so long and taking so long to go through is because they are also at the mercy of the Artigan Wi-Fi for their transactions, for any kind of sales transactions.
All right, I just published that to the Facebook page. The live show continues. Gods and Monsters 1055. That's code for something, right? Is that code for 1055? No,
no, it's not. Yeah,
I think we all do meth.
That's something else.
That's code for the kilobaud. That's what it is. The kilobaud.
We all take a nap because we're old.
All right, now I'm going to actually click on that link and see what happens.
Yeah, you'll see us eventually here. I had to make everything a lot smaller and work within our little.
All right, so also bandwidth issues.
You name it.
Oh yes.
So I clicked on it. So.
All right. So basically, for those who are wondering at home here on our, do you actually see it? There we are.
All right, I got you.
The deal is simply this: is that.
Well, I look goddamn ridiculous.
Well, that's a given.
And just to let you know, anytime that you have another computer wanting to watch this stream, that's sucking more bandwidth.
Right.
So
I'm part of the problem.
Right.
Because I've got 2 laptops watching.
Right. Oh yes, we have a send, we have a receive, we have a receive, we have a receive.
Turn your Wi-Fi off.
Right. Everyone, put your phones in airplane mode.
That's the name of the podcast. We'll just call it
airplane mode.
I think in a little bit I'm going to go wander outside and see some of these video games that they have. I saw they have a Killer Instinct over there. I haven't played that game in forever.
Killer Instinct. I still haven't got a chance. I want to get to it before somebody breaks it because I remember how easily it broke. Was the Star Wars game? Remember where you hold the joystick of the X-wing and you know it eventually would break.
Well, let's see.
Okay, now this is a good sign. They're bringing in the little barriers.
All right.
Because the lines to check out have gotten so crazy that they're wrapping around in weird places and they want to start doing the Disney thing with them, left, right, back, and forth.
And the reason why the lines are long, if there's a bunch of people here, and the internet is sadly slow for this opening, which is not any of their fault. So this is not a Gods and Monsters fault.
Right. There's nothing but good problems today. Where everything is fine.
In the very near future, this is all going to be taken care of, and you're going to be able to come down to Gods and Monsters and pick up whatever you need, and very speedy checkout. I'm sure it's not going to be a situation like it is today.
No. But for them, this is a good problem to have. The lines are packed. Ever since almost we started the podcast, there's been a line at the checkout counter, which is a great thing. And we can't even see the other checkout counter that's way behind us all the way over at the back door.
Oh, I see it.
And if actually to really describe kind of what really this whole event kind of feels like, it's like a mini comic book convention.
It is, and that's what the guys that just left said. It's like they don't know if this is the best comic store or the best continual con going on.
Right. Actually, it might be what it is, the continuing con.
And I could see them wanting to have a small con here. Con! Just put all the tables. They could put all the tables out here. What store owner wouldn't love it if they had tables just lined up in the hallways here?
Are you kidding me?
This, to me anyway, this seems even bigger than the grand opening, which I was here for.
For the Artigan itself?
Yeah, the Mayor Dyer was here. He cut the ribbon. Hey, everybody applauded.
Right.
They had some giant guys out on stilts and performers. And we came in and walked through the mall. But I'm not seeing the buzz like I'm seeing today.
I think something they might be able to do is once a month have a mini con here.
Actually,
and that might be an interesting thing because a lot of kids and adults, let's be real.
Right.
A lot of people,
kids,
make ridiculous costumes and put so much time and effort into them, and it wouldn't be bad for them to have a place to go in between the major cons.
Right.
That's not going to be $150 per day.
Right.
Where they could just come and show off and
come for free.
Sort of beta test their costumes and such.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic idea. There's a couple of cons coming up. I know there's one coming up in Tampa at the end of July. And they just had that spooky one, which I can't remember the name of.
Spooky Empire.
Spooky Empire, thank you. Where a lot of the Walking Dead cast were there.
Oh yeah.
And
actually, last week there was a little toy con down in I Drive.
I mean, so
with Daryl there, I got to meet Daryl.
Daryl?
I'm kidding.
Daryl was at the spooky one, I think.
Yeah, I think he
SpookyCon.
was.
Daryl
I think
was
he
there
was.
for
He
that.
does a lot of the cons.
So what's his name?
With his
Spooky Con.
crossbow.
Is his name Spooky Con Daryl?
Spooky Daryl.
Spooky
Daryl's the
Con
one with the
Daryl.
crossbow in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Very well-loved character.
Right.
So
Well, let me take it off the rails here for just a second.
Go.
As I was walking out the side door, I noticed that they had Tron.
Tron in the doorway.
End of line there at Tron.
Was the neon light on or the black light?
I didn't notice. But I've got some terrible sad news.
Oh, no.
There will be no
Tron 3.
Tron 3.
Tron 3
Very
now.
sad times because it was announced months ago that they were going to begin shooting in Canada, and it was a go. Olivia Wilde was a go. So you knew that meant her character was going to be the focus of the third movie, and then a movie called Tomorrowland came out with George Clooney, and then
just
Disney
Tank
decided
City.
that live-action films are not their thing right now, and the same day that Tomorrowland's reviews and box office reports came out, it was announced that Tron 3 is a no-go.
Do you know anything specifically about Tomorrowland? I mean,
About the movie?
is it a bad movie?
No,
or
no,
is it...
I saw the movie, and
Oh.
the kids and I liked it, but it's over 2 hours long. It was like 2:10 or 2:15, and that's too much for a movie that you kind of want your kids to go to.
Right.
And there were some confusing times where the kids were in the movie theater, and it's like, no, it's anytime time travel involves or wormholes or stuff like that. It's
yeah.
like, now why is he doing this? It's to protect the future from this happening, and it's like, where's Wikipedia? I need help.
We
So
need a diagram.
If that happens, then yeah, there's a problem with your movie, even if it is George Clooney that's starring in it.
I understand.
Right.
It's unfortunate because there were really, really cool visuals in this movie right from the get-go. When you've seen the trailers where you pick up the pin and you're
Yeah.
in this other world, and this girl picked up the pin and she walked through this world, and the camera followed her around. It was really well done, but
See, I've not seen the film yet. When I saw the original trailer, I thought, wow, that's a really, really interesting, cool idea. I have no idea what this is about. And then when they released the extended trailer, I thought to myself, wow, this is not the movie I thought it would be. Not even close. Now it's like an action-adventure, like thriller almost.
The question becomes, who is this for, kids or adults? Because
Good point.
kids are struggling with seeing a 2-hour-plus movie and time travel issues. And then adults are like, yeah, even some of these complex plot lines are a little bit much. So it's going to get lost in a shuffle of big movies that are coming out. Jurassic World being one of them that's out today, out yesterday. But as I was saying to Billy and Hutch, as I look over at my notes, Jurassic World review
I
came
used to
out.
love their show in the 70s.
The New York Billy and Hutch. Billy used to slide across the hood, right?
Yeah.
The New York
Gran Torino.
No, the Wall Street Journal did a review of Jurassic World, and they just ripped it.
I've heard it's kind of preachy. I don't know.
Yeah, they get a little heavy-handed maybe with some
I don't know.
stuff.
Blackwater dinosaur style.
Oh, okay.
Does that
I
fourth
don't know.
microphone work behind Greg?
Yeah.
Because it'd be great to have Spider come sit down. Spider!
Well, I'll move over.
Do you have a
I'll
minute?
move over.
Do you have a minute to just sit with us? We're still live here. We just want to get your impressions of... Here, have a seat right there.
Yeah.
This is Spider, who's been working here endless, night and day for weeks, I may say months.
He looks
You wanna
tired.
Try the headsets there.
Ooh, this one's weird.
He's probably a little tired. Does your mic need to come down, Greg, or is that okay?
I'm just a little bassy and
Go
weird.
ahead. You can just pick that up and hold it, Spider, so we can hear you clearly. So the ribbon was cut, and now it has begun. There's no turning back. Tell us what the last, let's say, 48 hours has been like for you personally. That explains it all right there, folks. That explains
That's
it all.
it. Thank you, Spider. Yeah.
But it's fantastic here. The detail of things is fantastic. I was describing to one of my interviewers that I can recall a month or two back, you were over there on that brick wall, just putting the lightest touches on these bricks to just give them that weathered kind of old look to them so that they didn't look brand new. And that's just one example of the detail that has gone into this place. What is it as you look across the store here that if you could pick one thing that you're most proud of that you worked on?
That I'm most proud of? I'm really happy with how Arkham turned out so far.
Oh yeah, the checkout here.
But honestly, I mean, things are just getting started here.
Phase
And-
1. We're only in phase 1.
Yeah, we say that a lot, but it's true. Right now, I'm still kind of at the point where I look around the room and I still see so much that needs
So
to
much
be.
you
That,
wanna
yeah,
do,
so
yeah.
much that I want to do and so much that needs to be done.
Right.
I'm just wandering around in circles, like making notes.
Yeah.
You
Well, I've
know.
seen you do things and then go and change that and improve those things. One of the examples is the Captain America shield, which at one point was just up nicely on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Now it
Fine.
appears to be inside the wall with Thor's hammer. So you've made changes on top of your changes. So
We got some Ghostbusters walking around here.
I guess for you, it's just going to be, you'll always be making changes.
Oh yeah, just keep adapting things, keep pushing. We're looking at adding some animatronics and digital elements to some of the features that are already in here. We plan on animating the Arkham cell doors so you'll actually be able to see inside and see the inmates within the cells.
I was talking about that with Mouse. That will be fun to work on that. If you want to do that, that'll be great.
We're hoping to get it so Croc rattles his cage.
Right.
I mean, we're just in an area where we're in the middle of the theme parks. We're on I Drive, and it's sink or swim out here, and you see it happen all the time. The scenic saves things. I mean, how many little tourist trap places do you see out here? They sell like knockoff T-shirts and cell phone cases, but they've got a giant fiberglass wizard outside.
Right.
So so they're constantly pulling people in.
And the name of the store is just T-shirts. You know, it's just there's no creativity at all there.
No. But they know how to draw people in.
Yeah.
You know,
You've certainly done that today. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I know. At one point, the invite on the Facebook page got up to 2,200, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to count those numbers being open for an entire 12 hours today. But I mean, we're seeing at least a couple of hundred right now at this minute.
Oh yeah, it's actually gotten more crowded since we opened the doors.
Now, with the expectancy number, it was like 20, it went up to like 2,500.
Did it really? I haven't checked.
Did it max out at 25?
Well, last night Mal said it was up to 22.
Right, I saw that. Yeah. Oh.
That's fantastic.
Now, and just a little bit of what is it bit about you? You know, your background. You're an artist. You're a scenic designer. You're a painter. You're a craftsman. You're everything, right?
Well, a little bit of everything. I mean, you know, I started out in art school, and like it was kind of a lot of self-direction.
Sure.
And you just kind of have to like learn new processes. You kind of have to teach yourself to work on the fly, and you learn a little bit of everything. I worked with Universal Studios for about 2 years prior to this in what they colloquially call the skin shop, where they produce a whole range of things from costumes to animatronic skin.
So you already have professional theme park experience coming into this.
Yeah.
An extensive resume for sure,
well,
which you've just updated today.
Oh yes.
So now, how did Todd and Anna kind of approach you about this?
Well, they knew how I felt about where I was at, and they kind of say, you know, I would come into Acme a lot after work because it was just, you know, the only thing I was looking forward to sometimes was going and seeing Todd and seeing Anna, and
a place to hang out.
Yeah. They kind of saw the shape I was in when I got off work.
Right.
And I think once they had an idea of the scope of what they wanted to produce, you know, they came to me, and I told them, like, again, like the kind of circumstances I was in, but like what my situation was too, coming out of college. You know, I decided to go for the full package, so you know, I'm basically a student loan slave, like so many other people.
Very good.
You know, and I'd love to work on something like this, but you know, I can't quit my job to come build you a shop and then, you know, just ride off into the sunset.
Right.
They said, come and stay and never stop working on the shop. You know, never stop building. Keep pushing it.
I guess this place will always be changing, won't it?
Oh yeah. The things we have planned for Phase 2, man, you wouldn't believe. Like, I mean, I know that sounds like kind of silly or like self-promotional, but I mean,
what you're saying is, if you like this, you're gonna love what's coming.
Oh yeah. I mean, the things I wanted in here day one that, you know, that we didn't get to do, and now I'm crazy about getting done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, it's like for, you know, like when someone says, "Oh, I'm going to open up a store and all this," and you know, they say what they're going to kind of do. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
good. And then you come to this, and you're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of there's been a lot of running jokes surrounding that sort of thing here. Like, we're in here and we're like sculpting polystyrene to look like corroded copper, you know, for our comic shop.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
or you know, we're building like gigantic medieval castle keeps for our comic shop. We're, you know, like, I'm trying to tweak the lighting on a zombie containment chamber for our comic shop.
Right.
And so on and so forth, you know.
It sounds like something you describe when you're working on a movie.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't sound, I mean, you know, we had a lot of hurdles and a lot of challenges, but
Oh boy, yeah.
you expect we're trying to create food service, we're trying to create a toy store, comic shop, gaming center,
Right.
You know, and essentially a small scale, you know, themed attraction.
Yeah.
And the trials and tribulations of just
Yeah.
starting a business.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
How long did you wait for electricity?
oh good lord.
Yeah. That was first hurdle. We need power.
We had to wait, I think, 4 months
Yeah.
for them to turn our power on.
There was a time when we were running extension cords with some of my lights up to the back corner so they could just start peeling stuff off the walls because there was just no electricity. I don't even know where that electricity came from.
We're crawling around on our hands and knees in the dark, trying to like pick at the trim, trying to get anything started in here.
Pulling the carpet off the floors.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it's amazing to think of in my head what it looked like back then and to see what it is now.
All these bare walls, and Todd's like, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that, and you're like, and the thing is, you believe him, but it's so amazing to see it. You know what I mean? It's one thing to hear about it or a picture of it versus coming in and then,
That was the other joke. We'd come in during the day and I'd be like, okay, so we're gonna carve a bunch of foam bricks. You're gonna out of polystyrene. We're gonna fix them to the wall. We're gonna, we gotta coat them in this hydro seal. We only have 13 hours and then we gotta flip it. So and it's super easy to say it.
Right.
It's like, it's very easy to say. We'll just get all that done. 72 hours later.
And let's do this all in the dark.
Yeah. Oh,
let's turn the lights off and make it intimate when we got to mix stuff.
Well, you described what it's like to be on a movie set, I suppose, except on movie sets they build those things and then they tear them down almost right away, whereas you built something that could be here for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah. We worked on the Harry Potter expansion, and my department was very fortunate in that we were one of the first people that got to walk through it when it was fully functional. Fallon had come through with his show, so like point of sales had to be open, people had to be in costume, all the features, everything had to be working.
Right.
I mean, if Fallon decided he wanted to buy an ice cream cone and a T-shirt, it had to be ready to go.
Right.
But we're scenic people, and we're trained to come through and sort of not in any negative way, but kind of cast a critical eye on what we're doing.
Right.
And and we're walking through the train station, and we just stick our arms out like that. And every time my hand hit like a handle on a suitcase, we're like, that's going to break. That's going to break. That's going to break. Every time we could reach a light fixture, that's going to break. That's going to break. The wand shop, the tassels, like, and because that's what it's like. You go into the park and you'll watch somebody, and they'll like walk up to like a fiberglass statue of Marmaduke, and they'll see a hairline crack in his ear, and they'll just worry that ear for 20 minutes until it snaps off in their hand, and then they're holding it, and they're just kind of looking at it, and then they just kind of drop it on the ground and walk away. They just wanted to see if they could break it.
Right.
So that's where I came from when I approached this store here. It's the traffic's a little lighter, the mindset's a little different. People don't go into JCPenney's and just try to field goal kick the features.
Right.
But
You're right.
well, some do.
Maybe
just
the
start rolling the room.
mannequins.
Oh yeah. It's easy to carve the stuff out of polystyrene, but then how do you make it so you don't have to recarve it every 2 weeks?
Right.
Are you seeing something, Greg?
I'm seeing something ridiculous. They have a balloon artist here, balloon clown. This kid is Godzilla. It's amazing. He's incredible. Look at him. He's Godzilla.
He's got the teeth and everything.
I mean, it's moving. It's his arms are his arms, and they move with the
Fantastic.
arms, and he's got a big tail and a big mouth. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the booth vendors here in the mall at Artagon here.
Where can we find that?
There's actually a fella here who runs a magic show who I think is in cahoots with the balloon sculptor.
That's usually the kind of circles they run in.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I've been doing like 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for about 5 months now.
Right.
To get this shop in order, and it'll be like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and a guy goes by on like a Segway unicycle, and it's the magic guy, and they're doing whatever. They're just killing time at their booths, having fun, hanging out. But it's just like a strange crowd in here all hours of the night. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting place. If you're local and you know the history of this mall, it's a pretty crazy place to be right now while they're trying to rehab it, and trying to revitalize this area.
Well, I mean, by having Gods and Monsters here, I mean, this is a real shot in the arm for them. It's a good kickstart to kind of get it going.
Yeah, hopefully it's a more comprehensive draw, and a lot of these booth vendors, they're artists and artisans and craftsmen,
right?
And hopefully this will bring in the kind of crowd that's interested in that sort of thing.
Right.
When you guys finally got power and your neighbors started to kind of peek their heads in here.
Oh yes.
I'm sure you had a lot of hi, I'm your neighbor type situations.
Oh yeah.
And they're all very warm and receptive. They definitely wanted you guys here.
A lot of them came in and lent a hand too.
That's
with the bill.
very nice.
Right. Yeah. I got a business card handed to me for the balloon creators. It's yes, Your Entertainment Spot, YES. You can find them on Facebook.com/yes.entertain.
And I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they actually have regular magic shows here in the mall. So if you have any, if your kids are into that sort of thing, if you're into that sort of thing, like they do I believe they do a couple of shows a day.
That's a fantastic idea. Considering the Artigan's idea of trying to do something different and interesting here, that's a perfect example of what they should be doing. That's great.
I got to tell you, people who are listening out there right now, there are some phenomenal vendors out here. There are some phenomenal artists.
You want to give us an example of a vendor you met out here that you were surprised to see was a vendor out here?
Oh my God.
I mean, you've got an artist right across the street here who seems to do their own artwork.
Oh, Genki Goth Studios.
Yeah.
They've been fantastic. And they're one of the late night crowd, too. They're in here, and they're always having a great time. You can hear her, Miriam, one of the artists there, just laughing and laughing, like from all the way in here, man.
I mean, that's actually what's kind of cool is that you guys, you try and have a community going.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, I mean, your neighbors to someone, they're all creative and, it's just that kind of thing. You want to pool it all together.
I mean, there is everything here. There's a fellow down the street who's selling vinyls. I absolutely love his store. A lot of vintage movies and things like that. I mean, there's all sorts of different artists. There's stencil artists across the way here, Eric's art. There's soap makers. And they are all terrific. And I know it's iDrive, and I know it's Festival Bay, and it's a little ways out here, but man, you got to come out and see something.
And there was a time when Todd and Anna were looking over at the Oviedo Mall, and I kind of thought how cool that would be because it's closer to me. But when I see what a perfect fit you guys are here, I mean, I think it's going to flourish. Absolutely.
And like I said, hopefully we can all help each other out a lot. I almost ended up with one of these booths myself before Todd and Anna asked me on. And I was very concerned. I'm like, I know this mall pulls big numbers at Bass Pro.
Right.
My sisters, they'll drive, they'll drive 6 hours to go to Bass Pro or Shepler's, but then then they turn around and they go home.
Yes. Oh, thank you. My computer is restarting.
Yeah, because I was going to say one thing that's very interesting too is that speaking of artists, last week they had one of the animator guys who worked on the Beatles' Yellow Submarine.
Oh, I saw him on television on Fox 35.
Yeah. He was in here.
Yeah, and he was selling his artwork.
Oh, he was here? I only saw him on TV. I didn't realize he was here.
He had a setup with the record guy.
He stopped by the shop while he was here, like right before he had his show.
And happy little accidents are going to happen like that more and more here now that you guys are open, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just the Facebook page the last week or two, in the section of people like, hey, I'm a cosplayer, hey, I do this, I do that. Everybody wants to get involved. They really do.
Well, that was one thing I pointed out to Todd and Anna, especially when it came to locations like the back room, the back gaming areas in Arkham. There's not a cosplayer alive who wouldn't want to shoot here.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have Arkham Insane Asylum in the back.
Right.
I mean, I'm a photographer. I want to shoot here. I want to shoot here.
I take pictures too.
And we're going to work hard to accommodate it. One of the things I'd like to set up in here eventually is a in-house cosplay lab where you can get your custom outfits actually designed, fabricated, or even older pre-existing outfits rehabbed, or even just get advice or consultations on the stuff. I do a lot of freelance work, and a lot of people come to me, and one of the biggest, cosplay is a huge thing. People love to do it, even if you're not handy, capable, or whatever, you're not highly skilled at that sort of thing. You order these things online, and a lot of these retailers that are online, a lot of these shops, they push real hard, but it's hard to get your measurements exact.
Sure.
Across the country, especially spandex. It's hard to tell what kind of quality you're going to get. It's hard to tell what kind of level of professionalism are you going to get it in time for your convention. All that could be solved by coming to a brick and mortar, getting your measurements done here, speaking to the person face to face. You can come in, you can check on it, you can get fitted, you can make adjustments. If something's wrong, if something breaks, you can bring it back.
Right.
And I think it'd be a really cool service to provide. I'm working on getting starting it off by producing some exclusive in-house cosplay items, additioning some accessories or helmets or something like that, and seeing if there's any interest in that sort of thing.
That's good, because those people, sometimes they need help with their ideas, and most of them kind of work on their own. They do their own thing, and they could use a little help sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not I have a lot of like gaps in my skill set, and there's some things like I can do, but I know that but I'm not an expert at it, and I've been really fortunate that I have a great network of people here, a great network of artists. Von Bellick, Defense Mechanism, came in and actually stepped away from doing performance art and fabricated most of the fantasy section for us, the gaming booths in there. Bruce Ruiz, who's a vinyl decal artist and a lighting technician, came in and lit all the features in here. Just this tremendous network of people, and just to come in and fill in the gaps and to lend a hand and to kind of spread things out,
Well, this was definitely a place for you to kind of come to Todd and Anna with your ideas. When they first came to you and said, hey, we're going to get this comic book store, did you start to present them with some of your ideas?
Well, they had a lot. Well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is I've got these ideas. Todd and Anna have these ideas, and all these cosplayers have ideas, and you never feel ashamed to reach out to people and to make your ideas come through.
That's exactly what I did. This is the perfect example of that. I came to Todd and I said, hey, I know you've worked with Rodney before at the other place. I want to have a permanent podcast location here. So I came to him with an idea, and he was all for it. This is the place for your ideas.
They showed me a little bit of a concept art that a fella had done for them, and we kind of used that as a jumping off point for where we wanted to go with things. Everything ended up adapting a lot on the fly in the meantime. But it's good to start with like a rough idea, and some stuff you stick to your guns on, and some stuff you want to be adaptable about.
Right.
I know that the circuitry column for sci-fi that just came out of nowhere. We just ended up with like a surplus of material, and really
I
tried
thought that was really cool. It's like old motherboards. And
that was one of the first things that kind of went up where you were like,
Yeah.
oh, something different's happening here.
Right, and that's much different from the original design there. The Blade Runner bar, the White Dragon Noodle bar, that's we're gonna be working on that pretty heavily in the next year to try to bring it more into the cyberpunk theming.
Right.
But I mean, it started out one way. It started out as an idea where we wanted to replicate something. We realized, I mean, yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible. We can build anything in here. But hunting down, the concept art, the control art, figuring out what all the pieces are,
I know Todd had mentioned at one point he'd love to have an actual blimp up there
Yes,
at the Off-World Lab.
Well, that's one of the things I want to do in here, and I think I'm hoping to surprise them with how surprisingly feasible something like that is going to end up being for us.
You got the space for it. You got a lot of real estate up in the air here that you can play with.
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell us if people want to find you on Facebook to see some of the work that you've done, where can they find you?
My Facebook name is Tommy Spider.
Tommy Spider.
Yeah, it's because Facebook has weird naming conventions and strict guidelines that don't make any sense.
Sure.
But mostly,
And that is your legal name, Tommy Spider.
Tommy Spider.
mostly what I do at home is I do a lot of leather work and I do a lot of mask making, and I try not to fall under too conventional styles. So I try to go as crazy as I can with it. You can check out a lot of that on my Facebook.
On your Facebook page. Well, this is definitely your day to enjoy. So give yourself 5 minutes.
And relish in the work. And I
just
mean,
sit
again,
down.
it looks amazing.
Sit for 5 minutes and just look around at what you've done.
I know.
It'll be over before you know it.
I just see a million things left to do,
Yeah. Hey, well, that's typically an artist. Like, you'll see it, and we're like, great.
Right.
You're like, but...
Just
I get pleased by the weirdest things, like little details that I get to put in. That'll make my day.
Right.
Put your clipboard down for one day and just enjoy what you've
exactly,
done.
right.
Enjoy it.
Well, thank you for joining us on the
Yeah.
live
No
problem,
podcast.
guys. Yeah, take it easy.
Thank you.
That was Spider, everybody.
Spider, who's been here hour upon week
for
upon
5
month.
months, 7 months.
I know.
Power, no power, Spider.
What do you see?
I'd like to actually butt in here with a little bit of an update.
Make sure you sit. 'Cause
On-
You're off camera.
I know I am. On the actual live podcast on YouTube,
Yes.
we have
Millions of hits.
11 watchers.
11 watchers.
So here's what's more important though is that people are actually watching. So
Yes.
Right.
the number doesn't matter. Now obviously you're watching, so that's one. I'm watching over here.
I want to thank my mom and
that's
my
two.
dad and my two sisters.
Actually, the 11 people was me trying to get the stream to work.
Literally it's
11
9.
times.
But the point is that it's working,
there it is.
and people really are watching. So that's pretty cool.
That's good.
And make a comment, say hello. We love to
Not
hear it.
everyone could be here for the live performance, for the ribbon cutting. So that's kind of why we made this up. And this was also our way to launch the idea of that we're going to do a podcast here as much as we can. We're going to have, famous people here, hopefully one day. And we're going to sit down and interview them and kind of turn this. And we don't want to say right now, but there is something in the works of having a permanent podcast set scenario over in the other corner. But that's all, I guess we could say, phase 2, like everything else.
Right.
Phase 2,